Hey gaming fans! So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of, I guess, deck testing to see how this Toon machine deck that I did a deck profile on not that long ago. I just want to do a few draws and just see how this does. Obviously I'm not playing against an opponent here, so this is really just what I get and what kind of moves I might kind of make when I'm playing the deck, or just to see if this deck will even work. So we're going to shuffle. I did a few power shuffles beforehand, so, it's nice and shuffled anyways. But I just want to make sure. And, normally when you'd play, you'd sit there, you'd cut the deck, you'd be like, okay, there you go. And, yeah, our deck is ready to go. So let's see what my first opening hand would be. So let's see, I got a Geartown, a limiter removal, terraforming, which is another Geartown, and another Geartown. Uh-oh. And a Machina Fortress. So our opening hand is not looking too good here, but that's okay. I mean, that's fine. Let's play terraforming and search out the other Geartown. I mean, we'll have 3 Geartowns. This is a little bit weird, but that's okay. Now, unfortunately, this would mean if we were going first, we would have to pass and did I pass the Geartown? Oh, there it is. Yeah, this is a weird hand. This is a weird one. So let's just see what happens. Let's just play it out. Okay, so let's play Geartown. Why not? And like I said in my other video, in the past, you used to be able to like set your field spell over top of the other one. It would actually destroy it and send it to the graveyard. And this would trigger Geartown's effect. But that's not going to happen because they changed the rulings on that, so nothing would happen. So I'm kind of screwed here. I can't really play anything, so I'd have to pass my turn. Hope I don't die. Draw. Alright, so now I have Toon Cannon Soldier. Okay, well, I think I'm doomed. I mean, having all these Geartowns in my hand is not a good opening hand. But I could, I guess, if I really wanted to, send both to the graveyard, special summon the Machina Fortress, and, depending on what my opponent had in the field, if they disrupted this play, I could attack, and then I can set limiter removal. Limiter, set it to the field. And if my opponent, for whatever reason, has a 2500 or more bead stick, I can actually kill it. And this has that added bonus that when this face-up card I control is targeted by an opponent's effect, monster's effect, I could look at my opponent's hand, discard 1 card. Also, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, select and destroy 1 card of my opponent controls. So, also he can be revived from the graveyard by discarding something of 8 or higher. So if they get rid of them, they get rid of them. Let's just say they get rid of them somehow. Okay, so we draw our next turn. So we have another Machina Fortress. This isn't going well. Yeah, I think I'd be pretty much dead at this point. Going on to this stage here. That's cool. Toon Table of Contents would have actually been good, depending on how the deck was going. And I haven't actually played against the more modern decks of today, but I'm pretty certain they're pretty fast, and I probably would have lost. So let's do a little bit of a quick shuffle here. Hopefully I don't draw all the Geartowns in one big shot, because that really just sucks. Any deck where, certain cards, you only want one of it in your hand and you draw all 3 of them, really does kind of hinder the deck. So let's put it down here and draw our opening hand. Let's see, Ancient Gear, Machina Gear Frame, Ancient Gear Golem, okay, whoa, all monster hand. Yeah, well, that's what's fun about testing these decks, right? This is where you actually put the work into figuring out what ratios work the best. So in this case, if I was going first, I'd play Machina Gear Frame. And that's going to add a, it's going to add a Gear Frame, or a Machina monster, I should say, to my hand. It's a Fortress. Shuffle that up. Whoops. Do another shuffle there. So now I can actually get the fortress on board. And I have plenty of cards to revive it, because this will revive it, this will revive it, the Toon will revive it. Everything but the cannon soldier. So maybe I should, I can use cannon soldier with Machina to discard and summon it to the field. And now I got 3 cards in my hand to bring him back if he ends up getting killed. So then in my next turn I got terraforming. Okay, so let's search out Geartown. Alright, Geartown. Gotta love that Geartown. Now I've been deciding, I don't know if I should put more stuff in here to actually destroy Geartown. There are a lot of cards I can play that'll actually destroy my own field spell. So maybe I should choose that, you know, put some more of that in there just in case. But let's summon Geartown, or, well, play Geartown, you don't summon it. And we still have some good, you know, stuff on the field. You know, this is all depending on what your opponent's playing, of course. If they're playing Cyber Dragon, for instance, they can just take these things out of the field and throw their, what is it, that Fusion Cyber Dragon guy. But yeah, I mean, that's it. And then draw. Oh, there's the Mystical Space Typhoon. Yeah, I left this one in the deck. This can actually blow up my Geartown if I want to. I was also considering Twin Twister. I could, you know, play Twin Twister, blow it up, and blow up one of theirs. Depending on the format and how often your opponents are actually playing any back row. But I can, like, literally set this, end my turn, attack if I can, you know, whatever I need to do. And also with Geartown, it allows me to tribute summon a level 8, or, well, not a level 8, but something that would require 2 tributes. So I guess level 7, level 8, with 1 tribute, if I really wanted to. So I could actually tribute off this gear frame to summon this guy, being at 3,000 beater. And then I can go for the attack, and again, depending on your opponent's field. And then the next turn, well, let's see here, we got limiter removal, which, yeah, that can bring up these guys pretty high. So this guy would be 6,000 attack, this guy would be 5,000 attack. And if I had to blow up any back row, I could do that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's try one more, just for fun. Always fun to see what these decks can do. This is the value of, you know, play testing. And in fact, you know, I remember when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Lots of times I would be so late on building my deck, or it would take me a long time to build my deck, that I would actually, you know, do any real finishing touches, and I wouldn't even test the deck, and I'd run off to a tournament. And of course I would lose right away because I didn't test it. So this is important to do the testing, because you got to figure out your ratios. So this is pretty good. So I got terraforming here, which is going to get me my Geartown. So I'm going to play that, obviously. I'm going to get my Geartown. And I have an Mystical Space, MST, whatever you want to call it. Mystical Space Typhoon. Yep. So I'm going to take a Geartown, which will actually blow up a Geartown if I need it. And so what I would probably do is play the Geartown, set the MST. And so we have a fortress in hand. I hear there's actually support coming out for this guy, so this is kind of interesting. So let's discard these 2 guys, bring the fortress onto the field, and end my turn. And then I would draw. So of course, depending on how things went, if my opponent tried to destroy this, I can chain it. Say they had their own mystical space or something, I can chain it, blow up Geartown, send it to the graveyard, and surprise, surprise, I can add Toon Agent Gear Golem to the field. And then they would probably scratch their head going, what is that? And then it would be my turn, and oh my goodness, I just drew Toon Kingdom. And I play Toon Kingdom, banish the top 3 cards of my deck face down as activation fee. And guess what? 3,000 attack directly, right to the face. I also have another fortress here, which I can actually discard this guy. You know, of course, depending on how things are going, if this guy already got blown up. But let's just say he didn't. I can discard, summon, and now I got a whole bunch of beef on the field to wreck my opponent. kind of a fun deck. I mean, like I said, in my video with the, the deck profile, this isn't really going to be ultra competitive, but I think it can catch a lot of people off guard, and they might not be expecting it. Anyways, thanks for coming in. This was just a couple of, test hands just for fun, just to see how I'll do. I kind of like doing this, so maybe I'll do this with some other decks too. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.